Did you enjoy all the incessant, inane, convoluted, and infernal hyperbolic shenanigans and antics conveyed during the presentations of the Cheese Corp Stealth Board? Well, now we have this, the Cheese Corp Stealth Board Mini. All of the same redundant, recondite, and redundant Byzantine complexity, but this time on the go. Well, not really on the go, but it is smaller, which this infers might be in some way ancillary to its portability, and it works slightly differently. And now it's shaped like this, sort of like a PlayStation 2, but not your run-of-the-mill game console. This one uses paper, forcing you to have to animate a battle page by page to the point of ad nauseum. Well, you don't have to actually do that. That was a lie. In any case, though this version of the Cheese Corp Stealth Board will incorporate a mini-map, or what might be the equivalent of a HUD, in the specific subtext of volatile reality, entertainment, information, modern, mortal, American subtext of interactive software programs, regardless, this is a poorly drawn and Xerox copied Cartesian grid that is emblazoned upon this paper with marker and other materials, possibly refined for the Earth by the power and discipline of the mind, moved to a position accumulating upon the surfaces of or saturating throughout the interior volumes of other materials for cosmetic, or in this case, numerometric, chronometric components. In any case, this is a grid, and each of the squares that are formed at their intersecting quadrilateral procession of geometric figures, series of symbols, represent a square on this map. This actually might have more squares or a greater configuration than the mock prop map here. Regardless, this will use these particular Connect 4, these tokens or Greek Fireflame object discuses. Yes, they make a smaller version of Connect 4 than the miniature version of Connect 4. This is using the tokens of which for battle tokens, for action tokens. That's what this meant to say, action tokens. I would not be surprised if they made versions of these in Relativity Magic. Each player will be given one of these, and during the game this would ask the characters place these tokens representing their various characters upon the individual square symbols on the map to represent, or rather keep track of where their characters are without having to actually look at the map and point and count squares indicating to your opponent clearly where you are. Perhaps you place a folder or something, some sort of barrier around the map to obstruct visibility and to maintain the stealth of the eponymous Cheese Corp Stealth Board, or eponymous from the Cheese Corp Stealth Board. It is named for stealth, the concept of stealth, not necessarily the Cheese Corp Stealth Board that brings stealth in some respect to the characters within the game, the subtext of recreational activities that is referred to as hero clicks. We were using the Cheese Corp Stealth Board for hero clicks, but it could be used for other tabletop war simulating or otherwise tabletop games of some sort. There are several group of squares, 59 to be exact, that are considered zones. And if you're in one of them, that presumably this is decided that you can see all of them, as well as being able to look into neighboring zones. That if you can see a zone if you are adjacent to a square that is within that zone. And each of them are labeled with one of these numbered squares, as opposed to representing or having a ratio for 1-to-1, as in one of these translucent Greek Fireflame polymer container frame casing quadrilateral objects per square on the map. It's one per zone, or at least that's the way this is using it right now, and every one of them have these numbers upon them, and they correspond to the numbers on the minimap for determining which of the squares upon the Cheese Corp Stealth Board to pick, or to open and check and examine, and subsequently determine if there is a character represented as being present in that zone or not. Say hypothetically that you are in the process of placing a character upon the board, and you are now present in a specific zone, demonstrating that by the use of this bordering on causality magic scale of miniature Connect 4 Kuridona Greek Fireflame Connect 4 tokens. And you were to place a character in that square. And on the board, that would be there. You would observe that zone, and presumably as the result of the instruction from someone who would be familiar with, likely at some point as a result of being instructed by a series of other people, one of which would have been instructed by this person, or based on some sort of, rather canonical, with some sort of archetypal system of determining which zone you are in that might have been in some way archaically or otherwise derived from this person. I don't know. Yeah. In this case, you would be in zone 23, because that is what this has decided, which would be these two squares, those two squares, including the one that Casey, Wonder Woman, Themyscira, and Wonder Woman is isolated from this world shtick, and those two. Woe is me, for Themyscira brings with you a great instantonian rapport and fury. A player would then peruse the surface of the Cheese Corp Stealth Board for the number 23. And find it here. Open this square and pull out the peg you wonder within. In this case, there are no pegs, for this is not placed them, for this was not expecting to be in the course of playing a game. However, if this was a game, there would be pegs, or should be pegs, upon that square in the course of the opponent's turn of the character that has been placed within that zone, and subsequently would find that character if they were indeed in that zone. Maybe, could be, I don't know. Furthermore, it's Tuesday. Actually, it's, Monday. It's Monday. I've got a pocket full of posies, a half-empty carton of apple juice, a half-full bladder, and some illegal-ass window-tinted rape van window emulating solar radiation attenuating ocular-wear sunglasses, and a 3D printed statue based on a rendering of Wonder Woman, or at least what this infers was ordained, or rather nomened, for the exquisite urbane fanciness of nomenclature and expression forefront. Wonder Woman, named this infers, or whichever you prefer, by Linza Mushroom Tail. This infers. That's what this assumes. Let's get this beep on! As you may have surmised at this point, on this team, 140-point KC Themyscira Wonder Woman from World's Finest, and on the other team, 145-point Ghost Rider, that is, assuming that's not the spirit of vengeance, it is Ghost Rider, from, this suspects, the Spider-Man set, though there was an auxiliary, or an alternate character motif for each of the sets, or at least that set, and it was monster or malevolent being from beyond the tenuous and thin veil of perception as mankind might know it. Let my people go, thus say my buns, thus say my buns. 6. You who I call brother, how could you have come to hate me so? Is this what you want in the name? My die! My medulla oblongata! Don't know which one it is. This counts. 4. That was for Ghost Rider. Diana, as you might have expected, Diana's turn will take preeminence, at least numeral, electric component, or otherwise parametric preeminence, over Ghost Rider's. Diana will be going first. Ghost Rider, with the transporter ability, which is hypersonic with -2 to attack, with 11 movement, impressive, and charge. Exploit weakness, hence the Fury of Hell. Use the Gribana. What has this done? The black character peg. Ghost Rider occupies 2 squares as a 2-square base. Creates a bit of the problem here. What is it? You are occupying these 2. That. And how many zones is in? Ghost Rider is present in zone 17, 18, and 19. And is assigned the Greek Fireflame Red character bead character, which is different from regular red. This one has fire in the name. That makes it different. 17, 18, and 19. 16, 17. This was a bad idea. You have to pull it all the way up in order to put the beads on. It's not like the other one. Hmm. $17, 18. 19. Wow. That's where this guy is. And is he adjacent to any zones? He can check zone 48, which is below 30, which is below, it's always 2. This is 2 more than, this is 58. We want 28, and the one below, this is zone 48. Nobody's in there. Nobody's in there. Ghost Rider's turn. Ghost Rider has 11 movement. The transporter ability. Since this cannot see Diana at the beginning of this action, this can use the hypersonic at any time in this movement. Move. Check that train. This is a check the zones you're in. Check 19, 17, and 18. Ghost Rider only in there. This was told that Diana found this person, which means that this would expect to find Diana in one of these, and if not, then that means Diana can see us, but we can't see them. Not in any of those, not 19, and this can see 48. 38. Check here. Not in zone 48. So she's hiding. We don't know where that is. Checking the train though. Well, that means if where would you be? Maybe in zone 56, 46, or 56 you could be in. You could be in zone 58. You could be in zone 47. You could be in zone 20. No. You could be in zone 20. Zone 21. There's a lot of places you could be. This is going to go up into that train and ride through zone 23 and then check up and check zone 20. Biggie. Oh. Nobody there. 20. After that, this could take another, use 4. Technically moving 2. This is considering that 1, since he's lugging around 2 squares. Check zone 48. Total 4 squares. This already checked zone 48. You fool. Check zone. Check. Move 2 more. Check zone 21. Check zone 36. Nobody in there. Nobody in there. Slake nor slam. Check zone 36. And 36. And now 21. Let me check move into 25. Check 25. That is something funnier than 24. Let me hear it. 25! Magnavox. 5. That's 6. Move 7 more. Move 1 more. 6, 7 more. 6. 4 more. 5 more. 6, 7. This can check 37. Speak of the 7. Oh, 37. Not in there. So then move into there. So I have 4 more. Eight. This has 2 more. Okay. Let's check 47, 47. Let's check zone 48. It's checking. This is peeking into zone 47. Where on earth are you? 47. Here. Where on earth were you peeking this person from? Maybe he went down here. I'm going to run. You could have been in zone 34 or 46. Maybe you're down there. I'm going to circle around, check zone 34, and then check those bathrooms. Always some dirty stuff going on in those bathrooms. It's like the truck station. This is a train station. It's supposed to be a train station. This is move 8. It can only move 2 more. Move there. And check zone 38. Unparalleled beauty. That's it, I suspect. And Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is now in zone 25 and is no longer in any of the other zones. He's in zone 17, 19. No more. No more. No more. And 19. And you are now in zone 25. That's all. 25. It's the fatty enzyme transplastidase. Transplastidase, the frontier in the transplastidase composed fatty enzyme. Transplastidase incorporated macromolecular microbial compound chemical fatty enzyme armor. Beta-lactam incorporated transplastidase fatty enzyme microbial armor. And this Ghost Rider actuaries is doing this and start here. So actually, this moved back and forth. A lot of the squares that were moved through more than once. That is Ghost Rider's turn. Does Ghost Rider have Indomitable? Yes, Ghost Rider is an indomitable spirit of vengeance. Once more, this will act as if it's not very clear where Wonder Woman is. And Ghost Rider will now check zone 25. 25. Which one? 25. Beta-lactam incorporated transplastidase armor. Light. You're in there. No one else in there. Clap 2 times. Check 37. Whoa! No one in there. Check 38. Unparalleled beauty. No. Check. This can check. No. This can check. This checked zone 38. Start moving. This can 25. Number 1. This can now check zone 40. I have my sources. 40. No one is in there. Going to ride. Let's ride. So that was 2. Go 3 here. Check zone 19, which is definitely where that character is. Definitely. Whoa. Check 19. Dun, dun, dun. And that's where you are, just as the minimap says you are. And it can discharge. This has 6 charge. You are in my charge range. Or this could move and attack you, and you won't know where this person is. That might work out better. I've already moved 3, is it? 2. This is moved 2. Yes. That means this has 9 movement remaining. This could move the 5 required to get to you, then scurry off 4 somewhere. This is going to do that. You are here, and this peeked at you from here. If that character has... If you find a character by peeking, you would ask if they have super senses, and if they do not, then they don't get to roll for their super senses. If they have super senses, they definitely know that you did that. Or perhaps if they have super senses, they'd roll their super senses, and if they get it, they know where you are. If they don't, then they don't. Super senses, what do I? That character has a power that's like super senses, though it's not labeled super senses, meaning that it doesn't represent super senses necessarily, but it has similar properties. It represents some kingdom come, alternate timeline, futures, time travel, interdimensional traveler. This gets the impression that if Rick from Rick and Morty had a HeroClix piece, he'd have the Casey ability, or one of those duplicate power cosmic quintessence doppelganger team abilities that have the same effect, basically. And this shall move Ghost Rider 5 to be adjacent to Diana. This is hypersonic. As long as you don't start the game adjacent to someone, you can use it. It does not. And I will break away automatically after this attack is finished. Let's break it. Bring the noise. Got 11 attack now. Minus 2. So now you have 9 attack. It's like the number of squares of your movement. That's 8. 9 and 8 is 17. That misses Diana's 18 by 1. No hit for you. And this might then ride off. I have 4 more to ride off to. And to go right back where this started. 4. Wait, before this does that, let's read that Hellfire chain. Is it 4 squares? You may give him a free action and deal 1 penetrating damage to a single opposing character within 3 squares, not line of fire. I want to be within 3 squares and behind something. Diana is within a 3 square radius of one of the squares Ghost Rider is in, which means I can, at the end of this turn, just sock you. Hellfire chain around a corner, or through another dimension. I'm scorpioning. That means a Ghost Rider still in 25, where this had him. Otherwise, the Beta Lactam Transplastidase dimension, that's where you are. I told you you weren't going to get it. And we know that you're in zone 19, as well as in zone 48. This knows where you are. This won't bother to check any other zones. Until next turn, of course. Now this is going to use Hellfire Chain and deal you 1 penetrating damage. It doesn't say it's an attack. Wonder Woman has the KC team ability that says that when you're targeted with a ranged combat attack, she can use... It doesn't say she can use super senses, but it describes super senses for shorthand. This person using shorthand. This will say super senses. Though it's not an attack, it doesn't mention range, and therefore, this is a... You get 1 damage. You get 1 down damage. These clicks are identical. You have a 140-point character with 2 clicks of 10 movement with charge, 13 attack, super strength, 18 defense impervious, and 4 damage, close combat expert. Diabolical. Next turn I'll be able to do it again, since I'll start the turn with 2 action tokens, and it says when this character has 2 action tokens, not necessarily at the beginning of the turn or once per turn. Ha! Assuming Diana doesn't move outside of 3 squares. Diana probably now knows that this character is able to hit you this way. Because I've done it. You'll ask, well, why are you able to do this? I can hit you if you're within... I can deal 1 penetrating damage to you if you're within 3 squares of this person, and it has 2 action tokens. I didn't know that! You didn't ask. Okay. I'll remember that. And that is Ghost Rider's turn. 25. Ghost Rider is in zone 25. Check zone 25. Check zone 25. It's the fatty enzyme beta-lactam incorporated. Beta-lactam fat transplastidase incorporated. Beta-lactam incorporated transplastidase fatty enzyme arm. Only you in there. This can check. This can check. This can check zone 37. Check zone 37. Check. Whoa! That's disturbing. And now here's a problem. If this doesn't know, this is not supposed to know where you are, and this has that power still within 3 squares. Suppose if I don't know where you are within 3 squares, I can't use it, even if I know you are within 3 squares. If I cannot determine where you are, I'd have to know that you're in a position. So you'd have to find someone and hide, and then you'd be able to use that power. If this were... Unless, I suppose if you really like to use that power, you'd have to tell your opponent where you are, or ask them to... Someone's going to have to give up their location if they really like to use that power. This can no longer see zone 19. I can't move. This will have to clear. Is there any other zones? No other zones. I can't move. This character is clearing. Ghost Rider's turn. All right, no action tokens. Let's find this guy. I'm not based with you. So I can do move and attack. You're within 2. You've got to be around this corner, as I imagine. Let's hypersonic. Do that hypersonic. Use that move action. Check around that corner. That's the zone 40. Probably should check zone 25 first. Make sure you're not in there. You are not in there. The beta-lactams transplastidase incorporated fatty enzyme armor serve thee well, and sing thee to thy rest. 40. Zone 40. I have my sources zone. You are there. Where in zone 40 are you? Exactly. What? You were there? This is bull. Alright, so I'm gonna... I could charge. This should probably... this could charge and then get very far away, and I'd like to do that. I don't want to be here. I'm gonna charge and then just bolt out of this car. Bolt out of the wind. Oh, running against the wind. What is this doing? Check zone 40. This is making a movement attack, hypersonic attack on the Wonder Woman. On Superwoman. Wonder Woman. All right. It's about to get House of the Dolls up in -2, whichever it is. 5 probably did not hit anything. That would have been 16, even if it weren't reduced by 2. And so now it's 14. Though this can get away now. This is able to drive far, far, fly, free, free, free. There's 1. This is 10 more. I'm getting far the beep out of here. And stay within 10. 6. Hey, if this can't see you, this can just drive back up and charge on you. Free, free, free. Fly, free, free, free. Now I'm going to fly. It'll be change, and I'll be in zone 39. I'm going to check it all the way. Check zone 60. Go smack that drone zone. Nobody there. Nobody eats Boxy Brown. And whilst this is there, and then check zone 39. Ooh. The motherlode worm, kabuki worm zone. You get out there. You get out. 39. And this will be able to see zone 26. The pinpoint blistering incandescent electromagnetic radiation emitting macromolecular approaching diagram of electrochemical bond snap power bloom tube arc pincushion zone. Pincushion fading from sight zone. And this will be next to zone 41. Next to zone 41. Checking zone 41. The Uber-Triad Hor kiosk rabbit hole zone. That is awful. We're going to change this. You are not in zone 25 anymore. I think we're not in Kansas anymore. Or specifically in the transplastidase beta-lactam incorporated transplastidase fatty enzyme armor zone anymore. You're now in zone 41. No, we're not in zone. You're not in zone. You're in zone 26. Right next to there. In the pinpoint bloom tube graph pinch point incandescent electromagnetic radiation emitting macromolecular approaching diagram this electrochemical bond snap zone. Bloom tube arc Loom tube arc pin cushion. Loom tube pin cushion. Alternation particle fading from sight. Cascading procession of particle planetary fading from sight zone. Not that one. Now you're in that one. And the transition has been made. Part of you isn't hindering. You ignore hindering. Yes, you do, for movement purposes. Diana fades. Well, speaking of fading from sight, and bloom tubes and the magic dark powers from beyond the mortal world. You got me, Jack. Action token. I'm now based with you. Now, this time I actually am based with you, and I cannot make a ranged combat attack. But you have to break away next turn if you're going to pull the... And you can't use the move and attack. You can't move your... You cannot use your hypersonic now. But on the other hand... This is now once again unable to make a single attack. Why? Why didn't I break his legs? What a question. Ghost Rider's turn. Asterogon. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's turn. Ghost Rider will check the zone that Ghost Rider is in, and that is zone 26. The incandescent electromagnetic radiation emitting macromolecular approaching diagonalist electrochemical bond snap power emitting bloom tube arc cone particle planetary procession pinpoint graft point fading from sight zone. And it's not there. Nobody said, wait, we're not done. We are adjacent to zone 40, checking a square in zone 40 and a square in zone 41. Check 40. I have my sources. Do you? Really? Okay, good. No one is there. And the Uber Triad Horde Kiosk Rabbit Hole Zone. Nobody's in there. Zone 39. The Uber Triad Horde Knocked Motherlode Kabuki Worm. There you are. This time, things will work out just right. I won't let you slip away. You can have that. You can have it right your lane. What is it supposed to do? I'd have to break away. I could just attack you, a regular attack. And then I could use that Hellfire Chain. And this will use Exploit Weakness, regular attack. You saw this, Kevin. Exploit Weakness and 7. That's 18 total. He has 11 attack. Does he still have 11 attack? He does. 18 total. Oh, we fight for light. That hits Wonder Woman. You take 4 damage, exploit weakness. That's now 8. And now 2 action tokens, Hellfire Chain. KO. This was some Strifling Tribe. Ghost Rider is the winner. Ghost Rider would take some Mystics. You have Mystics. They have Mystics. Everyone has Mystics. You do not have 2 identical clicks.